The President's Senior Special Advisor on Media and Publicity, Mr. Femi Adesina, is still with us in the studio. Mr. Adesina, I'm sure that you saw, the newspapers' headlines yesterday, quite a number of them, screaming, the President resets the war against corruption. So many headlines around the fact that they feel that there's been renewed vigor given to this war against corruption, only and simply because the SGF was suspended after months of clamoring, and that was the right thing to do. As the President's media advisor, what did you make of it?
Well, the conclusion may have been right, that it was a resetting of the anti-corruption war, but in reality, the anti-corruption war had been there, and it had been going on. It's just that those headlines came because of the weight of the people involved this time. An SGF, a DG of a foremost intelligence agency, that's why they concluded that it was a resetting. But in reality, that war had been there and it had been going on without let or hindrance.
We also spoke with Mr. Godwin Obla, who works in the Office of the Attorney General, and he was the one who made reference to social media. He said social media has been in celebratory mode.
I heard him.
I hope I'm quoting his words correctly.
I heard him, yes.
Because a lot of people feel that the verve, the promise of the war against corruption had been on the down low. This was not what they expected until yesterday when they saw, or 2 days ago, when that statement was released by the President.
That may, you don't necessarily use the social media to judge. Yes, the opinion you see there would matter, but then it may not be the final thing to use to judge. Like they said...
What do we use then?
Let me make my point. They say that a mob has many heads, but just one person controls them. Because when that person says, hey, let's go this way, the mob follows.
Mr. Adesina, I'm sure just a moment.
You have not let me make my
I have
point.
let you make your point. I'm sure that you received phone calls yesterday, and I'm sure that when you released the statement, you expected a certain reaction. For every statement that you release, you understand the weight of what it is that you're telling the public, and people could either react positively or negatively towards it. What was the feeling that you got after you released that statement?
And your question will be relevant if you have allowed me to make the point I wanted to make.
By all means, go ahead and make your point.
That point is that the anti-corruption war had been there. You don't necessarily judge something by the volume of noise that accompanies it, no.
We don't judge it by the headlines either.
No, not necessarily.
We don't judge it by the enthusiasm and the voice of someone in the Office of the Attorney General.
It will matter. I listened to him, but that couldn't be the only yardstick you will use to judge the anti-corruption war. It matters, the voice in the social media. But you know that the social media is like a motley crowd.
Okay, so let us not take the voice on the social media then.
Okay.
From your own perception, after you released the statement, I'm sure that there's a manner, there's a way you judge, especially advisor on media and publicity. There is a way you judge, or yardsticks that you use to measure the country's temperature, the country's mood at any point in time. From your own yardsticks, what was the reaction that you got?
Yes, I saw a lot of excitement. But for me, being an insider and knowing what is going on, that excitement can only just be a spur of the moment thing, because you also know that people like to see big fishes caught. They like to see big fishes caught. So maybe that was what generated the excitement. But for me as an insider, I know a lot had been going on. Okay,
well, let's take the reactions of some people. I mean, some of the segments. The PDP, for instance, believe that, they ought to have been arrested. That's in the spirit of fair play, because it was seen that is, what we've seen meted out to the judges, for instance. Their houses were broken into and they were arrested. And now they're just being granted bail. Shouldn't that have also applied to these people?
The PDP was just playing to the gallery, because allegations don't amount to indictment. These people have allegations against them. These allegations need to be investigated. There's no prima facie case against these two people yet. Not against the SGF, not against the DGNIA. It's after the investigations that you can say maybe anything has been proven.
Was there a prima facie case against the judges that were arrested?
The circumstances are different because a number of things were found in the House of the Judges that were indicting.
The Senate did find something on the SGF.
And the Senate's position cannot be final.
They raised huge questions. No one is saying it should be final, Mr. Adesina, but if their allegations isn't the proper thing to do to thoroughly investigate.
And that is what is being done now.
The question is,
allegations
why now?
Must always be investigated.
Why now?
It doesn't matter.
I recall the president's statement, parts of the statement saying that, you know, they had gone through what the Senate had sent to him, that he had set up a committee to investigate, you know, the allegations that the Senate has sent back to him on the SGF, and he came to certain conclusions. The investigations which were carried out looked like they were more into the Senate's, you know, duties in terms of how the Senate carried out its responsibilities, rather than what really transpired within Pine.
And you know when that happened? That was early in January, when the president wrote the Senate. And you know,
January 17.
Okay. And 2 days later, he traveled, January 19.
There was an acting president.
Well, there are even, yes, as an acting president, he had all the powers to do certain things. But you heard from the VP himself when the president came back that there were some things he still discussed with the president. There were some things he still referred to the president. So maybe that he had discussed and the president had said at the proper time that will be taken up. And the proper time has come.